However, what the priest would actually see every year on the Day of Atonement when he entered was an empty space. It's crazy how slow it's going now. Between the cherubim, he would see empty space between the cherubim. And the logic is that the anointed human priest symbolically entering the throne room tabernacle on the people's behalf is the statue. The high priest would be in the tabernacle/temple, and he would be the idol statue in the temple. Good evening and happy after the Sabbath day. Shalom, shalom. Welcome back. Study the Bible, not the Sermon TV. This is Mehalak, the Slow Genesis Walkthrough, and I am Brother Nicodemus O. Smith. That's O. Not Sugar Hill D. That's the drill rapper. No relation. But if this is your first time here, welcome to where we have come to understand strange Bible stories. If you are moved by something you see, hear, or read while you hear, please smash that like button, hit subscribe, and then slide on our notifications bell. And if you're a regular here, drop us a comment so I can shout you out on the next joint. Y'all see I'm out here in the blizzard. It's all good, boy. I'm from the Chi, so that ain't holding it back. Now, if I'm being honest today, you may have to replay this a couple times, but that don't mean that this is deep or that this is meat or steak. No. This is still milk. It's just not that type of Similac that you've become used to. This is technically part 2, talking about the images of God. We talked about sky rulers for 3 episodes, and this is the 2nd episode, and here there are also rulers of the land. These land rulers we found out last week are called images, both of them. And so what makes the people groups dwelling in the land of Canaan a hazard for the Israelites as they go into the promised land? The issue is that they give their allegiance to idols or images, right? And in Hebrew, it's the same word as in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and the same in the book of 2 Kings 2 and 18, if you care about that. But let's go ahead and read it anyway. And it says, and all the people of the land went into the house of Baal and break it down. His altars and his images break they in pieces thoroughly, and slew Matan, the priest of Baal, before the altars. And the priests appointed officers over the house of the Lord. And one more, in Numbers chapter 33 and verse 50 and 51, it says, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when you are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy their pictures, and destroy their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. So it's the wrong move to have images set up, because of course, you are the image. What's really interesting to me is how people get upset when I call them Americans. But for many of us modern people, it's so hard to sympathetically get inside of the concept of the worship and allegiance given to the statues. And it actually becomes very easy for modern people to get it twisted and make the ancients into some sort of caricature. It's easy for us to get a superiority complex over cultures that have idols and statues. So today, what this video is, you could call a rehabilitation on concepts. So, why would somebody even think that a statue can help them in any way or be alive in some way? Like, what does that even mean? So I'm gonna start off by saying that when anybody from the ancient time period all the way up to after the time of Jesus and the apostles, whenever somebody read Genesis 1 and 26, let us make man in our image, and then God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him, not just the first thing they thought about as an idol, it's the only thing that they was thinking about. The only association of the word image in ancient times is a statue. In chapter 1 of Genesis, God is creating an idol statue. Genesis 1 and 26 can only be understood against the background of an ancient Yahweh statue. Israel received the 10 commandments, and number 1 is to make no image of God. And it kind of makes sense, right? He the creator, so you automatically downgrading the status of Yahweh by representing him through any created thing. That's the obvious basic concept that even we can see. Therefore, humanity is regarded as the statue of God. The terms image and likeness are used for synonyms for statues. There's no need of another image or idol or statues. Humans were created to be the living statues of Yahweh. Humans represent the Most High as a statue would have done. Now let me pause here to state a fact that cannot be rebutted. It may not strike us as 21st century readers, but that is the only connection ancient people like Ezra, Nehemiah, David, or Joshua would have seen here as human beings, the image of God, is humans as the idol or statue of the Most High. So when a priest goes into the temple once a year into the most holy place, what he would see is the Ark of the Covenant, which is considered the throne. And Yahweh sits between the cherubim, as outlined in all of these places that I'm citing on the screen. However, what the priest would actually see every year on the Day of Atonement, when he entered, he would see empty space between the cherubim. And the logic is that the anointed human priest symbolically entering the throne room tabernacle on a people's behalf is the statue. The high priest would be in the tabernacle/temple, and he would be the idol statue in the temple, which may be why the high priest only wears white linen when he does this ritual. In ancient cultures, there is a real and perceived connection with the deity inhabiting and embodying statues. The best way for us to visually understand what the ancients did physically with their idol statues is to think about mannequins. The ancient people would make statues and then paint the statues, put clothes on the statues, and they were very realistic in their representations. Remember, they thought the statue was the embodying of the gods. And that's actually not weird or bizarre to us, good Bible-keeping humans. Because according to Genesis 1, humans are the embodying of the Most High God. So Genesis 1 is making a metaphysical claim about humans. Humanity is the eyes, ears, mouth, being, and action of the Creator within the creation. This is the rationale for the first commandment. Humanity functions in relation to Yahweh as idols do in relation to their gods. You're making an image of what you are supposed to be as a slap in your own dignity. I'm just saying, humanity is the living idol. And also think about all of the temple layers of meaning within Genesis 1. I spoke on the fact that creation of the heavens and the earth itself is a temple. Like what was happening on the sixth day as the Most High ordered the temple cosmos, then literally, metaphorically, the crowning moment is of God installing the statue or image in the cosmic temple, because humans are the image representative. So once again, as layer one of the meaning, the humans are God's idol statue in the cosmic shrine or temple. Now here, in this picture, we have the Pharaoh and the sun god Ra. As you can see here, the statues can be priestly embodiment of a deity or a royal representation of kings whose rule mediates the God's rule over the land, that is. In Genesis 1, human images do both. This is an amazing thing about the family of Abraham. It's such a revolutionary idea. No one in ancient time had thought to think something that would be this equalizing ever in human history. And all of these ancient societies are structured the way America is structured, with a very small number of people who have access to influence, power, and wealth. And it only makes sense that the ancients would create mythologies that said, it's only our select group chosen by the gods. And that is another thing that set Israel apart. According to Israelite scriptures, every human on the earth has an inherent royal and priestly status as an image of God. Whew. Check us out next week when, Lord willing, we still going to be nestled in Genesis chapter 1 at least one more time. But you don't want to miss it. And I'm going to give you the teaser right now while I'm in the snow. The title to part 3 of The Rulers Below. And next week's episode, Lord willing, is going to be how the book of Daniel is a meditation on Genesis 1 through 3. Now, I don't often speak on end-time prophecy because I'm super focused on fully understanding the Torah. And what I found is most of prophecies only make sense once you got a firm grasp of these things we've been walking through in the Torah. So set your alarm next week at 9:39 p.m. after the Sabbath days. Shoot, until then, bro, it's a blizzard out here. We up.